Okay, so let's get into setting up our machine for wig making. I slowed this first part down just a little bit to explain everything. I am turning the hand wheel. The hand wheel controls the needle going up and down, and that's a take up lever right there. You want to make sure it's up. Now, this is your tension dial. It is on 4. This is your needle position. It is in the middle. And this is your width dial to control the stitching, and it's on 5.5. And the length dial is on 3.5. This is your pattern, and I am using zigzag for dome, and I use the straight stitch if I am using a ventilated cap with the plastic. So that is the straight stitch, and you just turn it to where you need it. So we're going to keep it on the zigzag stitch. So this is your bobbin holder, and I just open it by sliding the little black thing over to the right. And I am going to take my bobbin out. And this is what the bobbin looks like. This is 100% polyester thread, and this is the brand that I use. Now we are ready to sew. You just put your thread on the spool pin and take your bobbin. And we are going to thread our bobbin. First, you put it through that metal guide, which is 1, and I am going to take it around this disc right here, which is the bobbin winding tension disc. This is a very important step, so do not skip it. It goes under that disc, and it creates the tension that you need to properly wrap that thread around your bobbin. So I am going to, yes, I have my little school skid scissors, cut the thread so that it's blunt. And it's going to make it easy for me to be able to put it through the hole. There's no designated up, like right side up, or if you're using the other side. It doesn't matter. Just pick a side, and the hole should be at the top, and put your thread through the hole. And it's going to look like this. So you are threading through one hole. So now I'm just taking my bobbin over to put it on the spinner, and I push it down really good. And I'm going to slide the bobbin over to the right to lock it in. Now, the thread, it should have enough tension, not loose on the machine. So you're holding it a little tight to create that tension. Now I'm just going to cut off some excess thread because I do not need as much thread. As I'm holding the extra thread, I am going to hold it tight with tension. And I just pressed on my footer, my presser footer. And when you're pressing on that presser foot, it is spinning it. So you're just going to let it spin, let it spin. The little white thing off to the side is actually the stopper. So when the thread is full around the bobbin, it naturally just slows down and stop on its own. So you want to pay attention as you are spinning the thread. See, it's slowing down, you stop. And now that it has stopped, I am going to cut this little piece of thread off. And you also have to cut the thread off that's coming from your actual thread. Push it over to the left, and you're going to remove it off the spinner. Now you're going to take your threaded bobbin, and you are going to put it inside of the bobbin holder as such. Once you have it inside of the bobbin holder, there is a certain way that you have to put it in. So as you can see here, it is counterclockwise. I am going to take my bobbin, holding the thread with tension, and I am going to wrap it through that little slit right there. So don't go to the right and then try to come back around and turn it and fix it and all of that. This is important. So what you're going to do is you're going to just take it out if you mess up the first time. Take your bobbin, put it in, bringing it to your right, and then you're going to slide it through that slit right there. And slide it as such, and you're just going to let the rest of the thread hang off. Now, once that's done, of course, you have to cover it and put your bobbin cap back on. The next step is to thread your needle. You do that by putting your thread on the pin. Don't forget to put the cap on, and you're going to follow the numbers. So this is a metal guide. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go around. 5, take it through the take up lever, and then continue to go down 6 to thread your needle. It is very important that when you're here that you make sure that your lever is up before you thread through here. And that is because I'm going to show you how that thread's supposed to feed through there. So I'm just going to show you now and zoom in some. I put it through 1 and 2. Pay attention to number 2. The thread is going through that little slit of that little metal piece right there, as you can see it. Now I'm going to continue to go down 3, 4, and I slowed this down so you can see how when you're wrapping it around 5, you're just going to make sure it hooks in there. But you do not want to do this as slow as it looks. It should be just smooth, bring your thread around, and it automatically hooks right there. So make sure it is hooked there. So you're going to continue threading, and you're going to go down 5 and then 6. You have to take your thread and place it behind the little metal guide. And after that, you thread your needle. So here's a close up. That's the metal guide that I put the thread behind, and then I take my thread and you put it through the eye of the needle. Okay, so now that we have our bobbin and needle threaded, we have to grab the bobbin thread and bring it up through here. And by doing that, you hold your needle thread up with a little tension at an angle. I am going to turn the knob counterclockwise 1 time so that the needle comes up, and I grab my bobbin thread. As you can see, this little loop and the thread moving, I grabbed it. I have it. Sometimes you might have to get something and like slide it so that it can come out, or you can grab it or use teeth or use tweezers to grab it. So now that it's out, you are ready to sew. You cannot start sewing until you have your thread like this. I am going to remove this footer for the sake of the video, just so that you can see this bobbin thread out right here. Okay, so here's that close-up I was trying to show you. You can see that little loop right there. That is the bobbin thread that you are trying to get. So when I slid my scissors, I am helping to pull that out. You can pull it or you can use the tweezers as suggested, but it has to slide out. And as you can see, the thread right there disappeared because it is coming from underneath there. This is the proper way to thread your machine. Now you are ready to use your machine to make wigs. Here's a basic tools and material list that you would need to construct wigs. Thank you, and I hope that you found this video very helpful. If not, please feel free to ask any questions below.